Hi, this is JP here from LeanWisdom. Welcome back to a weekend video series. I was part of a large enterprise, a US-based store which had around 2,000 people working for a software division of this store in India, right? And I was part of their organization as a consultant for more than a year, and I was responsible for a large chunk of people in this 2,000 people for their transformation, right? So this had a combination of Agile, scaled Agile, all of this. Yeah? And as part of this, right, one fine day, the head of transformation called me and said, "Hey JP, why don't you conduct an Agile training, right, for a couple of teams, right, around 30, 35 people." And I said, "Sure." Because those were the teams that were in the transformation backlog for their transformation, right? So I spoke to the leaders of that group and we started the training. One fine day, big hall, 30 plus people sitting there. I started my Agile training, right? And after an hour also, I kind of sensed that there was one team sitting in one corner of the training room, absolutely silent, right? They were just watching me, right, looking at me saying that what is this guy really talking about. And at some point I sensed that there is something wrong here, right? Then after an hour or two I asked them, "Hey guys, what's going in your mind? Because you've been very silent, everybody else is participating, there's a lot of discussions happening, right? If you agree, you agree. If you don't agree, you speak about it, nothing wrong in it, right? But you need to speak out." One of the senior person in the team said, "I don't know why we are sitting here, because we have been in Agile for last 3-4 years, right? And we know Agile. We are forced to sit here, right?" He was so frustrated, and I could sense with the entire team that they were not happy with coming here. I said, "Okay, good. Now that you are sitting here, what do we do?" Right? So I said, "Okay, guys, sit till lunch. Yeah, maybe another 2 to 3 hours. Sit here till lunch. If you get anything out of this training, come back post lunch. If you know everything what I'm saying, right, first half a day, that means you know Agile, you don't have to come back, right? Because I'll touch upon the foundations." They made an agreement. Yes, they were also happy, and I promised them that if they don't come back, I will talk to the leader and tell them that your team looks like no Agile, don't force them, right? I gave them that commitment that I will support you, don't worry. Now they were happy. Okay, they continued. Lunch break, we all went for lunch, went to cafeteria, had nice lunch, came back, and I was about to start. I saw these guys coming and sitting there. Okay, so I was like, okay guys, so it looks like you are back, so looks like you got something out of this. Yes, they said yes. There are 1 or 2 things you said we didn't know, and we think, right, we did not do it right, so we want to continue. I said, great, continue. Let us have an agreement that till coffee break in the second half, continue. If you get something out of it, stay back, continue. Otherwise you can leave. Coffee break came, they came back, right, after the break. We continued till end of the day one. End of the day one, I told them, guys, if you have not got much, you don't have to come back. But if you got something, I want you to come back tomorrow. Everybody came tomorrow. The very next day, everybody came, right? They were sitting there. In the second day, they were much more active. Because just before starting the training, I went to the table and said, "Tell me the top 2 or 3 things that you learned that you want to go back and practice," right? Then they said, "Oh, JP, quite a few things. We didn't know quite a few things. We thought we know Agile, but whatever we practiced is not really Agile. What you said and what we are practicing are totally different. So we have a lot of things to implement here." I said, great. I said, take actions now and let's prioritize after this. Second day night continued. They were super active, involved, right, every bit of the training. And end of the second day, they came back to me, right? And the training is done. I was packing because I have a lot of training materials to pack, and I was packing. This whole team came and said, "Can you coach us?" Right? I said, okay. And I said, how will it help you? He said, "No, there is so much that you taught us and we need some support when we implement this. Can you coach us?" I said, "Sure. Let me talk to your leader." I was like, great opportunity, because the team has realized that they need to change, right? It has to be, you need to create a volunteer army, right? The team has to be willing to change. You cannot just force a transformation, force change management to people. They need to change. And I was happy, but I made one agreement. I told them, guys, I have no problem coaching you. I will spend enough time with you. However, you should be ready to be, you should be coachable. You should be open for change, right? Are you ready? They said yes. I started. First thing that I fixed was, they had a 4-week sprint. Literally a sprint length was 4 weeks, a month-long sprint. I told them, this is a student syndrome, guys. What is student syndrome? Students start studying in the beginning, in a year-long class, you take it, you start studying, and then it goes flat, and it completely goes flat, and just before the exam, it goes very big peak, big spike. Now, this is a student syndrome. A 3 or 4 week sprint, for sure you will see a student syndrome. For example, a 4-week sprint, first week more planning and getting started, second week development, third week is also continuing development, fourth week is when the testing will happen, defect fix will happen, late night stay, somehow try to complete, and some stories will go to the next sprint. Very typical thing, right? And I tell them, guys, this is a student syndrome. I'm sure you have this. They said, absolutely we have this, right? How many stories you complete by end of third week? 0. Right? That is the end of 3 weeks, not even one story was complete. I said, you need to change. Okay, how open are you that you will change to 1-week sprint? They were shocked. They said, 1-week sprint? Is it possible? I said, it is possible, why not? Right? Wednesday morning we'll start, Tuesday evening we'll end. Right? We started. Initially they struggled because there's a big change, right? From 4 weeks planning, 4 weeks execution, and one demo in a month to a weekly demo, weekly review, weekly retrospective, weekly planning. But after 2-3 sprints, they got adjusted. They actually felt 1 week is far, far better than 1 month because end of every week they had something to demonstrate to customer. Great. Now I really wanted to test that. When we moved to 1-week sprint, lot of problems surfaced. What are the problems that got surfaced? They're eye-skilled, right? The team was not cross-functional. The whole team is eye-skilled. Now, I-skill was a challenge to execute in a sprint. So we need to move to T-skill, okay? Or, and then E-skill to Pi-skill to Com-skill. We made a very beautiful cross-functional skill, right? Development planning, okay? There was no automation. We focused on automation. I kind of gave a picture that Agile without automation, how disastrous it is, right? When you are in an Agile team without an automation. They understood. We started keeping capacity on automation. We came up with automation pyramid, automation strategy, focus on unit test automation, right? We started bringing a lot of code quality practices, right? Engineering practices like a pair programming and things like that. Effective code reviews, right? And code coverage of 80-90% for every unit or every code that they write, right? So quite a few practices we brought, and the team was pretty happy that they were able to deliver in every week, right? After some time, after a couple of sprints, I challenged further, saying that, guys, can you go to half a week sprint? You must be wondering, what is half a week sprint, right? I have practiced this in this organization where we want to do half a week sprint. Half a week sprint means like Monday morning we start a sprint and sprint ends by Wednesday noon. We go for lunch, come back, Wednesday second of this next sprint starts, it goes till Friday end of the day. You have 2.5 day sprint, right? And how is it possible, right? How will you do planning, review, retrospective? How long you need to do planning? 15-20 minutes planning maximum for 2.5 days. 10-15 minutes of demo, review, retrospective. 10-15 minutes of review, retrospective. That's it. We were able to do that. We had at least 2-3 stories complete in every half a week sprint, right? And that challenged them, right? That made them even more agile. And it was continuing. They were also very flexible because they were also enjoying this, right? Remember, a team that had a solid resistance during my first day of a training is so flexible at some point that they were okay to try half a week sprint, right? And at some point, I gave them a choice. Guys, you are very matured, right? I'm not here to, tell you whether you should be in half a week, 1 week, 2 week, 4 week sprint. You tell me what is the sprint length you want. Whatever sprint length you think is right, you pick it. I don't care what is it. They said half a week is short, JP, but we will go with 1 week. Great. We moved to 1 week, and in 1 week, you will not believe, we had a business agility results with 1 week sprints. End of every sprint, we had a demo to customer, we had a release to customer. The customer was happy, teams were very predictable, team became cross-functional, automation focus was great, engineering practices like peer reviews and the effective definition of done, definition of ready, quite a few things got fixed. That the team became very, very strong, and that became one of the role model team that we were able to demonstrate this team to the rest of the organization. That, see guys, a team that was with one month sprint struggling with agility, they have got into fantastic results because they aligned with the shorter sprints, right? This is the result that I got, and I still remember, I cherish these moments whenever I think about it. It's great to work with such teams, and I thought I'll share this experience with you. I hope this was useful. If your sprint length is long, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, I would strongly suggest a rethink. Try out 1 week, try out 2 weeks, right? The longer the sprint, definitely you will see more of student syndrome. The shorter the sprint, the more agile you are. Yeah, so I would strongly recommend relook at your sprint length and reduce it, and let the problem surface, let it come up, you will start fixing it, right? That's the beauty of agility. Agility is business agility. Every sprint you should deliver value, and you should deliver value to customer, and when it's shorter, you'll deliver faster. Okay, hope this video was good, and have a great weekend. Bye-bye.